Hey guys, welcome back to Physical Challenge Podcast. I'm once again here with my co-hosts Joshua and Mehdi. Joshua, how are you?
I'm doing very, very well. This was a fun trip down memory lane. I remember watching this show, 10, 11 years ago? So it was an interesting rewatch. My thoughts have very much changed since then, so I'm excited to talk about it.
And Mehdi?
I'm doing pretty good. This was an interesting watch. Um, I just kind of thought it was like it seemed very similar to Big Brother in a way. So I don't know. I think it's gonna be fun to talk about it. And like, I didn't know what year it was out until like it was mentioned that it was 2012, and I was like, oh, this is not as. I thought it was older than that. So I don't know. I thought it was like 2005, 2006. The show came out because I don't know. It looked pretty ugly.
The
But,
show does have vibes of a 2005 show trying to look like it was filmed in 2020.
Yeah, it's oddly filmed. I'll say that. But how are you guys doing before we jump into the show? How you guys been?
I've been fine, just been, working every other week basically. I'm off again until Friday, so when I'm not working, I don't really do anything, honestly. That's working is my only means of living, I guess.
Damn, you're a type A man. You're a working man. What you say? You saving that money for a trip or something?
I don't know, maybe there's some stuff coming up I might be doing, but other than that, not really. Just waiting till the bulk of our, busy season ends.
So Lone's got some super secret projects he's not telling us about, noted.
I know this is a bit behind the scenes, but we talked about it before. Are you gonna go to? You mentioned going to a watch party. Are you gonna go to the Oz's watch party?
Oh yeah, so I don't know. I was like thinking maybe not, but now I'm thinking about it again because like people I know are going, so I don't know. It's still up in the air, kind of. I am like off of like we don't have any work that week, so it is an option, but I guess hasn't been finalized. As long as there's still tickets, I haven't, made a final decision, I guess.
Josh, how about you? How was your week so far?
Things have been fine. I've been a very busy boy recently, but the academic year is almost over, which means soon having time to focus on other things. I'm hosting another live game in a couple months. I say a couple months, next month when I'm in Germany, because we're hosting a one-day game over there. So planning for that currently play.
And going international.
Yeah. And our Survivor UK buffs for season 2 are just arriving very soon, so I'm very excited about that also.
Ooh, interesting. You were just moving with it. You guys did production for season 1, and you immediately like, okay, we need to tweak it a little bit. We get season 2 going.
Well, we already had our buff designs good to go, so we knew we wanted to do this. So Rob's got them ordered. They're arriving soon. I'm super excited to get my hands on them. They're very pretty colors this time around.
Oh, well, that sounds good. This one you think is going to be more? Is not the Germany one, but for the season 2? Do you guys think going to have more production in terms of like YouTube videos or like episodes?
So I don't know what we're going to do, but at the very least, we're going to have more people. We're going to have more people helping us there. So it means that we're going to be able to stream a lot more. We're going to be able to do a lot more confessionals with people and give people more of a look at what's going on behind the scenes of the game. So at the very least, the viewers are going to be able to get a more full picture of what's happening, which is really exciting.
That is interesting. I'm meaning to ask you, Josh, because he mentioned. We were mentioning Lone's watch party. Have you ever been? You've been to a watch party with like reality contestants, correct?
So here in the UK, we sometimes have watch parties for Survivor, and some of the Survivor South Africa contestants, when they're in town, will sometimes come and join us.
Like, I feel like when I went, I've only been to like 2, but I feel like they're a bit underwhelming in a way. Like, it's not a bad. They are a little bit like they're fun, but I feel like they're a bit underwhelming in terms of like, I like watching the episode. I see like people get together and like we'll watch like a big sports event or something, and it'll be like this bombastic thing. But like, I feel like watching Survive. If it's not the finale, I feel like it's odd just to watch a one-off episode because like anything like that episode could be a complete dud, and then like what are you talking to these people about?
So I remember I remember during Survivor 43, I was a bit upset because I was unable to make the premiere watch party. And then I watched what happened. I'm watching Mariah go home. I was like, if I had been there, as soon as she was voted off, I would have gone home. I would not have stayed. I would have gone home, been in a bad mood the whole train journey. So it's very hit and miss. I went to a watch party for the Survivor 42 finale. That was an amazing experience.
I feel like it works well with the finale. Like, it really works well with the finale because, like, okay, regardless of the result, we can talk about what happened at the end, who should have won, blah blah blah, like all that stuff. But if it's just a one-off episode and it's a dud, especially if someone goes home like not voted off or like someone quits,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, ugh, that would blow.
There's there's
Go
kind
ahead.
of like different versions of watch parties. I feel like though, because if it's like the one we went to where it's like you're actually like watching the episode and then like the podcast after. But most of these watch parties are just like, oh, we're in a bar, the show is on, but like nobody's really paying attention. Or if you're trying to pay attention, it's not loud enough, or everyone like in the bar is too loud, and so you can't hear it. So you have to like pick like, if you want to go, you have to really like think about it because it's like you're probably gonna miss like the context of the episode live as it's happening.
I think the best show for watch parties is Drag Race. I think that, I mean, we've established the two of you are not Drag Race people, but having that energy of all of these people, normally all queer people, watching the show, getting excited, very reactive to what's happening on screen, having that buzz, getting to that final lip sync and cheering on your favorite. It seems like that show in particular is a really exciting thing. There are some really big famous watch parties, like this one in Chicago that happens at a bar called Roscoe's that everyone there really loves, and I normally watch it online each week because I enjoy it so much.
I mean, if a watch party's that good that you can like enjoy it through watching just clips and videos, I mean that says a lot about the event. So,
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if you guys saw, but Daniel and Terrence from last season of Big Brother are doing one that's like you can watch online. So that's gonna be a miss. I will be watching on YouTube. If nothing else, I will be watching on YouTube.
that's gonna be a train wreck. But let's get into this show. Lone, do you mind explaining the premise a little bit for the audience before we start hopping into the episode?
Yeah. So this was one of my picks, and I didn't get ridiculed. So
Not
I'm
yet.
on a, I'm on a good streak, but it's called The Glass House. It was you think they said it was 2012, right?
Yeah.
It was on ABC in 2012, and just a little backstory into this is it's basically Big Brother. It's like these people living in a house, a transparent house. It's like big. The base of it is all not mirrors, but just like transparent, like window glass panes, so you can see everything like from the outside. And even before this show like went on the air, CBS was trying to halt it. They were trying to get it to not premiere. They eventually sued CBS. Eventually sued ABC, but the show did go on. It aired in its entirety, but like I think the lawsuit was going on while the show aired, and then at the end, like CBS basically saw that the ratings were not that good. The ratings like were really bad at the premiere. They jumped a little for the second episode, but like the ratings were horrible. Dropped the lawsuit. They were like, "Oh, that's okay. Like we know this show was trash, so they didn't worry about the lawsuit." I think they actually settled on it. So, but yeah, it's these people living in this guy's house, and I guess the difference is that it's more similar to the first season of Big Brother, where there's audience votes. Like audience can vote on different tasks, and eventually they're voting on who goes home. But there's a competition to determine like safety, but other than that, it's not that similar to Big Brother at all. Another reason like that CBS felt like it was trying to be a copycat of Big Brother was because at least 19 members of the staff on the show were former Big Brother producers staff. So they, felt like they had a good claim to being ripped off essentially.
this
Yes.
show, just a little quick tidbit. The show's that there's some interesting mechanics that are a bit like I'd say you did say it's similar to season one of Big. I never watched season one of Big Brother, so like I never
Don't.
experienced.
Yeah, me
I,
either. I just, like know basically the lore, I guess, and the pertinent details. That
Well,
is a
because
goal of mine though, as like a Big Brother person to like watch season one. I don't know about the whole thing, but like yeah,
well, when people tell you to watch it, to like start on season 2 usually if you want to watch actual Big Brother, and that's where it starts. And
yeah,
I'm like, okay, so like I know season 1, I know the premise, and this one's like it in a way, but they have like a little bit different. I think they can interact with the audience more than maybe the ones on season 1 can, because
Yes, you are correct.
we'll be talking about it later, but there's a mechanic where they can kind of ask the audience yes or no questions a bit, and you can kind of change the answers. You don't and they don't particularly have to be yes or no. It has to be like, for example, in episode 2, because we'll be talking about the first 2 episodes, is he asked the audience a question, and then he said respond with either this woman's, like this contestant's name, or this contestant's name. But then the context is no one other than the person that asked the question knows like what the question was. They just get the result. So it's quite interesting to see that. I think I'm correct on that, right, guys? I didn't miss
Yes,
anything up there.
yeah.
you are correct. So with this, yes, so they're fancies, which or fans. I hate how it sounds. Anyway,
Fancy.
it doesn't work with the British accent. I think that's one of the shows that the show does do right when they all get to ask it's a this or that question, but they can determine what the 2 options are, and the paranoia those questions can cause is really really great.
Yeah, so that caused a little bit paranoia in episode 2, and I really enjoyed that. Um, it was a fun. It's not like a bad watch. Like I really liked the first episode more because there's a person on the first episode that's just absolutely horrible, but I was enjoying the watch. So we can hop onto that. What were your initial impressions again of the show, Josh? Because you had watched this when it came out, right?
So I think I probably watched. I think when I watched it was all out, but it happened that year, or I may have watched live. I don't recall. I liked it at the time because the show is interesting. However, looking back at it now, and especially knowing how the season plays out, this format is a chop. Like the problem is, and it to me is similar to the issues that Big Brother Over the Top has, where there are some of the mechanics interacting together don't work. So in Big Brother Over the Top, having an America's nominee just and then really wasn't doing was too much. In this show here, the thing that's too much is having going into the format of the show. We're gonna so quickly to discuss some of it. Each week, apart from the first week, the public picks 2 people to be captains. The losing captain is up for elimination automatically, and then the public votes somebody out each week. So the public is stating who they want to potentially go home, and then picks if they want that person to go home. And unsurprisingly, what we're going to keep seeing happening is the person the public chose to be a captain is going to eventually go home. And that removes all suspense to me because you know who's going to go home every single week because you've already been told by the public, we don't like this person. And having those elements of the game interact is really frustrating because if you fix that problem, pretty much everything else you have in the show is a really fine working show.
Yeah, I think that part might be like how you said. Eventually, like the person who is voted or one of the people who's voted usually goes home. I think maybe they added the competition element of that to be like, oh, well, they're still like they have the chance to save themselves as kind of like a save their butt kind of thing.
But the problem you're still having is then you go into the vote, you know, that you may as well then just have the public picks 2 people to go challenge and the loser of the challenge is just going to go home. Because then we're doing all this extra stuff just for the loser of the challenge to always go home.
Yeah, I also think that maybe they didn't want it to be like a BBUK thing where it was just like people talking and conversations all the time. Like they want each episode to have like some action.
Hmm. Yeah, that is the that is the flawed format of this show. I think like it'd be see if you said you didn't want the America's nominee thing, like you didn't like that in BB Over the Top,
Nope.
but like if there was like a third option or something, do you think it would be less predictable?
What, this show?
Yes.
No, I'll be very honest. I think so. To me, I'm going to say now what I think the fix of the format is. This show works if the eliminated player picks the next 2 captains. If you make that one change, or the eliminated player picks the next captains, everything else in the show gets fixed. Because then that means that we don't automatically know which of the bottom two is definitely going to go home. And it stops this just being the least popular people are just going to consistently go home, that being the whole show.
Yeah,
I think if you fix that one thing, the strategy means something because there's no guarantee the public's going to like you more than the other person that's in limbo already.
Yeah.
It means you're going to see more shifts happening in the house. If you just fix that one thing, this show, the whole format works for me. And this show would go from being like a 3 to being a solid 8 or 9.
Well, that really would be much better. Because that would just like add another element in the social dynamics. And even the person that's leaving, you have to be kind of have to be nice to both people, even if you have a bad relationship with them, because like you don't know who's going to go home, and whoever goes home, you might be like screwed in the next round. So that is a really Josh, just make a show already.
Yeah.
That's the thing with a lot of reality shows that flop. Sometimes, if you just change one or two things, the show gets magically better.
Yeah, I think the problem is, like you were saying, kind of similar to BB Over the Top, is that you have two, like America is, determining two major points of the game. Like if it was just America's voting on who goes home or just America votes for the captain, like then maybe there wouldn't be as much of like a problem. But the fact that it's basically America setting up that whole part of the game. I don't think there's a lot of shows that do that, like what you were saying, where like the eliminated person has like a bearing on the rest of the game. That's not very common in these shows, so I don't know why shows don't really take advantage of that, because it also adds drama, because obviously not only like the eliminated person, like they were fighting to stay, so but they usually, the people who are like in this show, like there's the people who are in limbo, usually they have some kind of beef with each other as well. So there's automatically that built-in drama of like, oh, I may be going home, but I'm still going to impact the game in my own way.
Well, they should add another like example in episode 2. There was some accusations of someone throwing a challenge, and I'm thinking there should be something like that where they should add an element like where okay, America's offering you to throw the challenge or to do this, kind of like in BB. I don't know if it's BB7, not BB7. I think it's like BB8, like with Eric Stein, where
Yeah.
like
Yes.
basically they controlled his movements. Like there should be something like that, and if you do that, there's an incentive. Like oh maybe some extra cash. Maybe you get safety, but your team loses. And it kind of just like, I think that would also make the show way more interesting than it was for me.
The show definitely underutilizes its public voting, because the public vote on a lot of things for this show. The problem is that a lot of the stuff they vote on is stuff that no one cares about.
Yeah.
Do you remember in old school Big Brother when the public got to vote for additional foods for the have-nots to get to eat each week?
Yeah, and it was always like some alliteration thing. It's like
Yeah,
peanut butter and pretzels or something like that.
Like stuff that no one cared about. Like it was very that. Like why? If I'm using your little Apple website, I don't want to vote on, are they going to have a pool party or pajama party? What food are they going to get? What decorative clothing items are they going to get? What drinks they're going to get? Like, I don't care. It doesn't matter. So the show trying to make a point of some of this stuff was just really annoying.
Yeah, I was looking into that about because the first episode, like not only is it like a setup for like meeting the players like in most of these shows, but there's like a lot of actual like content in the first episode. You see like not only them just moving in, but like and getting to know each other, but they do like some tasks. They have like you said, they have like this the housewarming where they pick if it's a pool party or a pajama party. So basically they started airing clips of this show online before it aired, so that's how you get like all of these decisions that have already been made about the stuff that the America's voting on, and the tweets that you see on the show. So the clips aired a couple of days before the show premiered, and then the show premiered. So they all already had like the people who were watching the show already kind of had an idea of who these people were. There was also like similar to Big Brother, there's like a live feed element, but they're only for certain days and for certain time periods.
It's giving digital daily.
Yeah, Monday through Friday. That's exactly what I thought of. I was like, oh, this is a digital daily, but it's not cut or anything like a digital daily. It's just like I guess a live feed from the house for these 5 hours a day for 4 days of the week, and then also they what I found online is that they weren't in the house the whole time. They were only in the house filmed for 24/5. So they had 2 days off every week, where they go to a hotel and they're sequestered, and that's basically when they're trying to figure, when they're finding out, like, I guess who's in limbo for the next time. But that's like, as someone who watches Big Brother, that's part of why I feel that one a fundamental difference, because in Big Brother you have the people and they're living there all the time. They don't have any exposure to anything else. But like like in the Glass House's case, it's like, oh, if somebody was playing the game and then they had like a battle back and they had to sit in a hotel, so I don't think it's as intense. They were also saying that they have like lights to simulate like daytime, the evening, that kind of thing. But they can't go outside like on Big Brother. It's like it's all inside of a soundstage, but they get the exposure with the hotel thing. So I know a lot of people are saying like that this is like a Big Brother ripoff, but other than like the living in a house thing, I think it's like a very fundamentally different at its core.
Yeah, it's just very weird because it seems like they're throwing all this money into a show, but then they're cutting corners to make it cheaper. They're also, if you're doing a show like this, please explain to me why is it only one episode a week? If your show is filming in real time, there's no reason why your show is only airing once a week. A whole week's worth of production is not worth an hour worth of television. Like, economically, that just makes no sense. Big Brother milks their contestants for all their worth entertainment wise. The US version doing 3 episodes a week, international doing literally every single day. 42 minutes of television for at that point, it seems like this show is so expensive to the point where is the benefits of making reality television, do they even exist anymore, or should you have just done a scripted show that was actually going to be good?
Well, if you could see, it's like there's so many. You could tell like during the episode, like stuff progresses really quickly. Like, oh, we just got introduced. Oh, damn! Like 2 minutes later, oh, now we're fighting. Like, but we don't understand the context of the fight, and I'm like, I, like, what's going on here? Like, I want to like this show, but I feel like there's a lot of they just. I feel like they didn't think it through. They're like, well, let's copy some of stuff from Big Brother, but not take any of the good stuff that they had from Big Brother. Let's take all the silly stuff that no one cares about, and then make the audience vote about it.
It's
And I'm like,
almost like it's almost like they're assuming that you are also like watching the live webisodes too. It's like they need to like cater to not only the people watching the lives, but also craft a narrative like on the weekly shows, which is what Big Brother attempts to do at least.
see, I think that works for Big Brother, but I don't think that's gonna work. I think if you need additional supplement like viewing to understand an episode or kind of like enjoy an episode, I feel like that show's flawed already. Like most people aren't watching the additional stuff. Most people are just putting it on TV and watching the episode. So if you're not catching my eye or like I don't like it after the first episode, you're losing a viewer right there. It's like majority of the super fans might go watch a daily or do whatever, but like most people aren't. Like so like I don't get why they would even like I know it sucks, but why would they even cater to that audience?
Big Brother advertises the live feeds as like an additional element of the show, which you can to indulge more. This show pitched it as a kind of like, if you're not watching this stuff, this show doesn't make sense. And when you're telling me I have to watch this extra stuff, I don't want to.
It's true. It's true. It's not. There's nothing. I feel like they didn't promote it at all in the first episode. They didn't like it. There's nothing catching our eyes. But like, I mean, I think we're like. It seems like we're like dumping on the show a lot. There's fun stuff about that. Like, I like the fancers and like that element of it. But like, I just think this show could have been so much better than what we like
Yeah.
watched. Um, but if you guys have anything else to say about the format of the show or anything?
Well, let's just quickly go through and just explain just the entire rules of the game clearly.
Okay.
So we've got 14 contestants. So they're split into 2 teams each episode. In episode 1, the teams were determined based on something the audience chose, which that kind of public vote, I was like, sure, that's cute. It means something. Sure. So the teams had to pick their own captains. In subsequent episodes, the public is going to vote for the 2 people going to become captains, and the captains draft their own teams. Team's going to do battle in a team challenge. The whole winning team is safe from elimination. The losing team is eligible to be put into limbo, and the losing team captain is automatically in limbo. Everybody except the captain will then vote, except the losing captain will then vote for one member of the losing team to join the losing captain in limbo. Those people leave the glass house, return a couple of days later, and the public will ultimately decide which of those return and who leaves the glass house. This process will continue until ultimately the audience will select a winner. There's a couple of twists that happen later in the season, but for the most part, this covers the generic basic rules of the game.
What did you guys think? This is part of the kind of the format in the game. So when people are nominating people or like voting for someone, they'll have like everyone will have like a rock and they'll place it on.
That's my favorite part.
And they all do like a different little thing to like. I really like that. I'm like, okay. I mean, using the glass house element, I'm like, it's kind of corny, but it was a fun little. I just never understood. Did everyone get their own rock? Or is it just one
everyone
rock?
has a rock with their name on it.
Everyone has a voting rock, a voting stone
with their name kind of like just stuck on it with like a label sticker.
Apparently they're like really heavy, like they're like actual like weighted rocks.
My favorite one was Robin doing like this very weak one finger handgun to shoot the person, and then that smashes it.
Yeah, it's kind of like so another like behind the scenes thing is I think I read that they had them film it 2 different ways. Like one of them was this way where like the one that they actually picked where they like make a motion or whatever, but apparently like the network liked having them like throw stuff at the wall basically. Somebody compared it to like the Xbox, I guess like the original Xbox where it had like the hand motion thing, but this is like 2012. I feel like
the iToy on the PlayStation, something like that.
I guess, or like the Wii, where you have like motion sensors. But I feel like if this was done today, it could have actually like been integrated and not just because it's not. It's basically just they do something and then like on the back production truck like just makes the effect. But I don't know. I thought it was cool. It's kind of reminds me on Big Brother, like if there's alliances and they all have like a hand movement that they do after they vote. I don't know. It was just cool.
I was thinking the exact same thing. It reminds me of like when you have like it's very Big Brother Canada loves this kind of stuff. Like early Big Brother Canada, you was not an alliance if you did not have hand gestures in the diary room. That was given Big Brother Canada's edits. If you weren't following the feeds, that was genuinely in the season the best way to help an alliance was real, not as if they did the hand gestures.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was fun. I thought one of the things I liked the most about the show because it's kind of like, I'm stealing your fate or whatever. Like. I'm knocking your picture. It's like if on Big Brother they had like if they could just like take their picture down off the memory wall or something.
I thought that's a fun way to like kind of like signify like okay, like I'm breaking their glass house. Like I don't want them here.
I'm throwing a stone in their glass house.
yeah. I thought it was fun. I really like that aspect of it. What did you guys think about the cast?
No. No, just looking back, like at the time, I was like, "This is cute. This cast is not giving," and it doesn't help that you're going to see throughout the season. A lot of the audience's decisions are like, "Who are the quote unquote least normal people?" Sometimes, and those are the people that go in. This audience voting is horrific all season long. Like you're gonna see that frequently that women are gonna be. I think that for most of the season, at least one of the captains is gonna be a woman. At least one. Quite often, both. It's bad. I think only in the first 6 weeks, only 2 of the men are ever voted to be a captain.
Really? Because I've only watched the first 2 episodes, and in the first 2 episodes, only been one woman in in contention to be eliminated so far.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm interested how it's starting. Like you're telling me, it's going to trend the other way now. That's interesting. How
yes, because at the start of the season, a lot of the men go home. But very quickly, you're going to see, I think, if you look on the boot list, there are at one stage 5 consecutive women
Goodness.
all on the boot list all next to each other. This shows a disaster. American reality television does not need public votes because American audiences really cannot vote. We've seen American Idol. We remember the whole season 3 mess with Fantasia, Jennifer Hudson, LaToya London, all suddenly being the bottom 3 together. Like, American audiences cannot vote.
I think they should have like a third, like let them have, if you want to do a voting thing, let them have some part of the vote, but to have them control the whole thing is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, somebody on one of the old blog posts about it, I was reading about it. They were like, okay, so the feeds, like basically the feeds aren't there the whole time, so you're only getting an edited like part of. You're not seeing everything, and then but then you're giving them a full vote. Like that's consequence like set up for disaster.
Well, what's weird to me is like we'll probably get into this soon, but like I don't understand like what are the like what are like what can you say and what can't you say to people on this show? Because in the first episode, this guy just says what the hell he wants. He gets an inkling that, oh, America wants me to be the best reality villain of all time, and he just starts calling people fat. He just starts calling people, what do you call that one girl, a prostitute? Like, it went
Yeah,
off the rails quickly, and I was like, this has nothing to do with the game.
Medi,
It was nuts.
Medi, he did it because America chose him to do it. They wanted him to do this. He would not have done it if. No, honestly, I don't know, like how he would have acted. Like he seems like the kind of person who, like, even if America like said no to the fancier, that he still would have like done it, but maybe not as brazen as he did.
Do you think he came in with that? Like, he probably didn't even come to win the game. Do you think he just came in? Okay, this is. I'm presuming this is after Russell Hantz. This is after some of like the reality TV villains of its day. This
No,
was filmed in
it
2012, wasn't it?
wasn't. That's the thing.
Was it? Was Russell Hantz?
No,
Was it not?
well, I'm so sorry. No, it was. That's so wrong. Yes, it was after that.
Yeah, because you think the show was filmed way earlier, but it's 2012. So, like, I don't know if he came in because if you see, he was also on another. He's always on reality shows. Apparently, like I was looking at
Yeah,
we watch this on YouTube. He's on reality shows, but he's always out like really, really early.
And so,
I
do you
think
know
on the
who?
yeah, I think on the wiki it said he was on Worst Cooks, which I don't watch, so I don't know. But was he on other stuff besides just that?
The YouTube
Well,
comments
that's
are
the
saying
thing.
it.
Do the two of you know who this man is?
I
Well,
know who he is now, but
yeah, I
before,
remember him because of this show, and like I said, he came up in the news recently, so that's how that's how I just had like a flashback. But other than that, not
how do you
really.
know him, Josh? Not from the show, I'm assuming.
I know him as his political commentator, as he'd probably call himself.
Yeah, his current day job.
Yeah, I found that you guys had mentioned something about it, and so I had looked him. I'd watched the episode, right, and then I'd looked him up to see what other shows he was on because they said he's always on these shows, or he's on a couple of these shows. I'm like, okay, let's see like what are these other shows he was on, and then no, I just found all his that he is labeled as a right wing politician, not politician, some right wing activist as like slash troll, but a little bit says comedian. I don't get it. I don't know what he's trying to label himself, but yeah,
Yeah,
no, he's a horrible person in real life, like
yeah.
100%.
So the guy that we're talking about, in case you don't know, is his name's Alex Stein, and he goes by Primetime 99 Alex Stein, which when I
What?
heard that, I was like, okay, this is. So I don't know if you guys, I don't know if you guys know the reference, but it's this football player, like his name was Deion Sanders, and his like nickname was Prime Time because like he thought he put on a show or whatever. So when I heard like that, when I like got flashbacks to hearing that, I was like, okay, we already that just gives you a taste of like this guy thinks that he's like full of himself because he's like the character. Like at one point he says like, "Oh, I'm the only character on this show." So do you guys think that he lived up in his one episode to being the greatest reality villain of all time?
No, wait,
I
wait,
did
wait.
not. I
Oh,
did not
sorry.
remember he was on this show.
Wait, what?
I did not remember this man was on this show.
That's funny because like I feel like he's the only like when I saw like when the cast was like coming up and like entering the house, I didn't really remember anybody except for him. So
Well, I got a question about the primetime 99 like nickname. So, okay, I'm glad you like explained the Deion Sanders thing. That makes way more sense. But why is the 99 like I don't get the 99 behind it really?
I'm looking it up, but I'm pretty sure that was his number. Like his football number that he wore on his jersey was
Oh, he
99.
played football. Okay. Oh,
Did he?
that makes sense. But
I'm sorry. This man plays football.
Oh no! Deion Sanders, the guy like he took the nickname.
Deion Sanders. Okay, I thought you meant
Okay.
like that was Alex Stein's number, and I was like, okay.
Oh no, his okay. Hold on. So at the Deion Sanders, his number wasn't 99. So I don't know where he got that from. Maybe just because it rhymed. But you guys don't remember? He said he was the captain of his high school football team.
I didn't listen to like at some
Yeah,
point. He said some outrageous stuff that I just kind of stopped listening to him.
yeah.
But
Alex Stein did play football himself as well. So
Mm.
that even like gives more credence to like why you picked the nickname because he probably heard of like Deion Sanders before and thought it was cool or something as to have
what's weird is I don't know if this guy like goes by this like in his daily life, but like it was odd. Like he came onto the show with like a clear objective. Like, okay, I'm gonna be like the it person on this show, whether I go home or I first or whether I leave last or win. Sorry, like everyone's gonna remember me, and like it was so like it was so fake. I know this is reality TV, so like you kind of got to take everything with a grain of salt. But like you could be like he's so uncreative. He just goes straight for like insults. He doesn't do any like it wasn't even fun to watch. I'm gonna be honest. It was just kind of nasty.
It was just lame. I was just watching it, just like this is just so silly. And so I kind of remembered because I remembered that Jacob quit, and then just to jump forward a bit, can we just talk about the fact that this man managed to lose a public vote against himself?
I was gonna get to that a bit later, but yeah, that was interesting because
Yeah, I did when it first came up. I was like, okay, so are they gonna? Because like I said, I have watched this before, but like it was a long time ago. I didn't remember any of the context. So it was almost like I was like watching it fresh for the first time. So when it first came up, when they're like, "Oh, Jacob has left the game," and I was like, okay, so are they gonna just like automatically put him back in? And then, but yeah, this makes it better. I didn't. I thought like he was such a big character that like there's no way that he would go home that early, but he did. So
well, that's how bad it
shows
was.
what I know.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, I no shade to Americans, but I really thought this man was gonna stay. Like, I just really thought they were gonna like keep this like.
Yeah, like they voted for him to be they told him to be the villain. How's he going to be the villain if they vote him out the first episode?
He wasn't being a villain. He was just like cussing people out. It wasn't fun. Like
It was just being rude.
you can be a
Yeah.
villain without just. He said he gave the attitude of like a junior high bully, where like they just like were insulting people and had no personality, and their personality was just being a bully. That kind of just seemed to out like he was, and it was pretty lame. And he's continued to do that through his life. But like I don't know. He wasn't fun to me. Like I don't get the appeal. Like no one wants a guy like that. When I said I want villains, I don't want like this like boring. It's not even a boring villain. It's like a one note person. I did not find him entertaining at all. I thought I would because all I heard is, oh my god, this guy has hyped himself up so much, and then this bum goes home by himself on a vote against. How does America not vote you? You're the only person there. I can't. I can't with him.
It was
Yeah, it's
embarrassing.
funny about like the Jacob quitting thing because another thing I saw when I was doing research was that apparently they like when they released the cast, there was this other person that was like really 40 years old or so, and then mysteriously like she just got dropped from the cast. So between like them having to like find the like Holly was a replacement for another lady, the one that's the youngest on the show,
That girl's
and
a dud.
so
She was a dud. She was a dud.
so between like they were probably scrambling between like dropping this other person from the cast and then like the first person quit. I was like, they're not gonna have a show soon.
Wait. I got a topic that we talk about. And like, I don't know if you guys want to continue talking about this guy, but I feel You know how they've been saying lower, like a lot of reality shows will be like, oh, we can lower the age requirement. 18 years old, you can apply. 16 if you get your parents' consent. I think we need to raise the requirement like a little bit. Like, I don't think we need like 22, like, like 20, 21, 22-year olds on these shows. Like,
Are you saying that I'm only just about old enough now to do reality television?
you know what, Josh?
Are you
I,
saying you don't want any more Danny Donato on Big Brother 8s?
You know what? There's gonna be those outliers, but I feel like on average, they usually don't bring it to what I like want to bring. So like often I'd rather like okay, if you're gonna have someone that's younger, like okay, have like around a 24, 25, maybe 23-year-old, but like I don't like maybe because I just haven't if I don't like I don't really like teenagers or people around there. So like I don't want to see them on my TV screen. But I just feel like they don't bring it to me. Like you can see their age, like not just their look wise, but kind of how they act. And that's not something I would like to see on TV. But what do you guys think about that?
I
Hey,
mean, if that's the case, you would hate Love Island UK, where like 22, 23 is like the average
But
age of
but that's a different
contestants.
that's like a different. I feel like it's a different type of show. Like I feel like
he's
I'm watching that. Like I feel like those romantic type shows. Like I'm usually not watching them, so like they can do whatever
they
they
can
want
have
on
it.
them.
They can be whatever age they want over there because I'm not watching it.
Exactly, exactly. But like I was just thinking like maybe they should raise the requirement. I don't know if you guys agree, but I just feel like I'd rather see people that are like more there, like kind of for the game a little bit than like I feel like the younger people kind of think they're smarter than they are. They kind of I feel like they're more clout chasers than an older person. And not I'm not saying older than like the older 20s are more mature, that much more mature than someone. I would just like I don't know. That was kind of my mentality because like with the Holly casting, like there was a scene there was a scene where I think this is in episode 2 where she's talking to the other women and then she she claimed to be a major she wasn't and then she admitted she was a psychology major and then completely forgot about psychology and I'm like, this is too much of an easy mark, like in a show like this, for like I don't know. It was a fun scene, but I was like, really, really,
That
I
other
don't know.
lady was like, "I just need you to name one psychologist. Like, you can't name one psychologist, and they're dogma or whatever."
It was weird. It was weird. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? What do you guys think about age in reality casting? Do you guys just think like, oh, it's good as it is? Should we raise it? Should we lower it?
I think it's very situational. I think you occasionally get that younger person's like, boom, that's just their fire casting. Also, sometimes having a younger, bratty, annoying, close to being a kid is great because they just really bother other people in the house. But if they're not serving any entertainment and their presence is not annoying people, there's no point in being there.
Yeah, a lot of times in some of these shows, people will say like, "Oh, if they, get some more, life experience behind them and come back in a couple years, and they have, potential to be a better player." But I think there's also a difference between like having an age limit and then like them casting someone that young, because a lot of times, even if you have like a certain age limit, like the producers for the shows will only cast like the one, and they're like an outlier. So I don't think like changing it, like like survivors have been lowering it, like I don't think that will necessarily change that much overall, because they usually are only casting like the one young person every season, so it doesn't really make that much of a difference in the long run.
Yeah, I guess. But yeah, this casting, I would say, if I could give a quick outlook on it, I was kind of bored. Like like I feel like I don't know where they like these just kind of like as you guys said, it feels like Big Brother rejects in the way, and sometimes Big Brother kind of casts pretty badly. So like I mean, if you're the rejects of Big Brother, you're really scraping the bottom of the barrel. So I think this already got canceled. Then this get canceled like after like a season.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, so like I can see why it got canceled because like it wasn't bringing the format doesn't bring it and the cast doesn't bring it.
and the ratings weren't bringing it either, apparently.
Well, it's just a show that ABC, like, in terms of reality shows, I don't really remember a lot of reality shows that it's produced, like, made by ABC. So, like, I don't know how that, like, experience they were in making something
Oh,
like this.
they I saw something. They were putting it. Oh no, that was another show. I was
This,
gonna say that it was like that they were like putting it like right next to The Bachelorette or something, but I think I'm getting confused with like reading about another show.
are you confusing with Claim to Fame?
No, I was I saw something about like an oral history of the mole, and that
Oh,
was like
interesting.
going up against like Bachelorette, but yeah, that's
To
another
me,
show.
this was the start of them putting starting random reality shows for one season.
What for like
So they did it with The Glass
ABC?
House in 2012. They would then go on to do Who Done It in 2013, a show which
Yeah.
I say this all the time. That show deserved so much better than it got. One of the best shows of all time is Criminal and Never Brought It Back. And then I think it was the year after that they had The Quest. So they have a track history of a lot of one season reality shows that weren't given, either we're not given the effort they should have from them to make them better, or just weren't entirely thought through. This falls into the not entirely thought through section.
What did ABC produce Utopia, or was that CBS?
No, that was Fox.
That was Fox? Okay, that show was weird. That was an odd show. We should talk about that at some point. Uh, but do you guys have any other thoughts about Glass House as a game, as a TV show? Because I kind of like talked my piece about the show.
I'd like to say, you know what, to get to show some compliments, the house was nice. You know what else was nice? Their microphones. The way
Yeah.
they had like the necklaces that were microphones, like the mics they had were pretty cute.
Ooh, I didn't even notice that. I was
Yeah,
thinking
those
the
yeah,
microphone.
we're still wearing like mic packs in 2023. Like,
The neck. Well, yeah. Well, I'm trying to like. I didn't even notice that. That's a little nice tidbit from the show because I was thinking the mics. Like, where's he going with this? I was like, oh,
And
the necklaces were the mics. Oh,
I'd also like to bring up a couple of things that the producers do throughout the season, because I'm interested to hear your thoughts on a couple of these ideas that the producers have. So one of their ideas is that partway through the season, they offer the contestants a cash temptation to go home. So they start offering money, and the first person to press the button at a certain amount of money that they think is acceptable leaves the show with that amount of money. Do we like that?
oh, they're really trying to
interesting.
copy Big Brother with that.
Is the cash amount? Let me ask because I did not watch this. Is a substantial amount? Like, I don't know how's this show formatted because like, does first place, second place get any? Like, I know first place gets a prize. Does
First
second
place
get
gets
anything?
if you don't win, you get nothing. $250,000 for first place. That's it.
Oh, so why not? Yeah, why not just take the temptation? I like that a
So,
lot. Then,
what would be enough money for you to go home? This
honestly,
happened at the final 6.
That's what I was gonna ask. How many people were left?
this show, it depends. If you're always getting voted in as captain, you can kind of tell that the audience kind of doesn't really like you. And then, I mean, if they don't like you and you stop winning these challenges, I'm assuming the
Okay,
finale. I'm assuming the finale is a big vote.
it's a
Oh,
public vote. So
yeah.
yeah, so it
I
might be
would
notable here that the person that goes home had just been voted as captain the previous 2 weeks.
I would take the money and I don't know, 10K. Like,
Uh,
just take money.
so she leaves with $37,600.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Oh, what the heck?
I would have left. It could.
Not for me.
I think 20. I've just been voted captain 10. I think 20 grand. I would have been like 20. I think 25 grand would have done it for me because I think 10% of the prize pool would be enough for me to go home.
And you said the prize pool was how much?
$250,000.
$250.
I was gonna say like 100.
I say 25. Actually, I think I agree with you, Mehdi. I think 10K. I'd be like, you know what, I'm good. I've been voted as captain twice. I don't need to do this because I know I'm not winning.
Because you already know the format of the game. You know that you're probably, if you even get to the final, you're not going to win probably. So, like, I mean, take any amount of substantial cash and leave. I mean, I feel like it's pretty good 10K.
So then I had to ask, how do you feel about the fact that the if someone left, they then got replaced by an eliminated player?
Oh yeah, I think I did see that. Like somebody came back.
Mm-hmm.
Did they vote? Did they vote? Wait, what? Wait. Okay.
So
The,
the so the the two most recently eliminated players were kept in lockdown, so they didn't get a chance to go and see the show, and the
yeah.
public picked one of those two people to go back in.
Ugh, I don't like comeback situations, to be honest. I don't like that at all.
I think I like it more than like if they just had a totally new person because there's always been a track record of like these shows just like bringing in a random like another whole person like midway through the game. But like I think it's a little better if like at least like it's somebody they know and they've already experienced, so it's not like a total like disadvantage.
Yeah, but
I
do you know what's crazy? They're like, we're giving them brownie points for like for not completely messing it up though. That's the thing. It's like we're trying to scrape any good thing we can say about like that. That's just I don't know. I really don't like that.
Another
That
thing is when you said lockdown, it reminded me. I thought there was gonna be like when they said when they go to limbo, like I thought there was gonna be something in the show about that, like
yeah
scenes of them being in limbo or whatever. Or, I don't know if limbo was just being them being in a hotel again, like since I said that they are sequestered for part of the week and they go to a hotel. But I feel like if there's a limbo, like we don't know what happens in limbo. Like it's just like, oh, they go down to limbo, they come back up for the vote. But I feel like that's another missed opportunity where we could have been seeing what's going on in limbo.
yeah it was just all so bad. And then the show's format, it gets towards the end of the show and they start doing weird things. And there's a final three, so I'm just like, why did you have to bring anybody back? We could have gone down to a final two. There's so much. This just doesn't make sense. And then
okay.
they stopped doing team challenges at the final five, but then there's still captains challenges. There was a captain's challenge, but there was two captains, but they didn't have teammates to help them. That it doesn't work.
Kind of reminds me of another show that I might bring up later.
The way I genuinely can't think what you're talking about because there's several shows it could be.
That sounds like yeah. I'm just gonna like straight up ask. Like this is a spoiler section. I'm gonna ask them who won. So like anyone that actually cares about this, we'll be back in a sec. So who won the show?
So the winner of the show is Kevin.
Yeah,
Who?
Exactly.
Who's Kevin? I don't even think they've introduced this dude. Who's
the
okay?
Boston guy, right?
What was
The guy who always wore shirts that said Boston and had like
It's
the logo.
the police, the cop. Oh, okay.
the cop won this show? Oh my goodness, he's so boring.
I thought, okay.
Is he the cop? He's a cop now. Was he a cop at the time, or was that
It's the
someone else?
top, yeah.
Wait, you like him? I'll go lone. You gonna defend this Kevin win?
Oh no, I'm not saying I liked him, but I thought he wasn't the worst.
What do you see? This
I
is
mean,
what I mean. He wasn't
aside
the
from
worst.
Alex,
The
also,
the only time I've ever agreed with Alex Stein is when he yelled at Kevin. That's it, because I don't like cops. And other than that,
He's just a regular average guy, okay? That's why you don't like him.
get him off my screen. You're irregular and average. I don't like you. I can see you out on the public. I want someone that's fun. I hate this show so much. You know what, Lone? I'm sorry. Spoilers are over. We're not talking about spoilers anymore.
well, no, yeah, that's fine.
Lone, this is a bad pick. This is a bad show. I'm sorry.
What else is there to talk about? What are your thoughts on Apollo's nomination strategy?
The first one?
The cards.
Oh yeah. It had teas of like gummy bears in Big Brother Canada.
It's giving like alphabet strategy, but so much more. The Russell Hans reference making sense. It seems like a lot of these people are trying to do what other reality show people did, but just doing it much worse.
But the gummy
Yeah,
bear.
I was so frustrated when he did that because, like, not only is he like playing in the middle, but honestly, people aren't like it was just a bad strategy because people are gonna be like, "Oh, you're a wild card. We don't know what you're gonna do because you won't, commit to anyone's side or commit to anyone." So, and literally, Kevin said like, "Oh, we were gonna bring you in, but like we can't do that because of the way you're doing this card thing. It's too risky."
The people in the house can't trust you, and to the audience, you're really boring. So.
And then he
really
tried to
very
like
well.
switch it up at the end. I don't know if he goes home after like once he's nominated because we only watched 2 episodes.
I think this is more alphabet than it is Gummy Bears. Because
Yeah.
remember in Gummy Bears, Tim had a point. He found out who's aligned with who, because everyone kept on pitching to him through the Gummy Bears thing, so he got something out of it. But the alphabet was just picking random people, so I think this was even worse. Like this was like there was no.
Oh yeah, I'm not familiar with the alphabet, so
Did you watch? Wait, did you watch that season? Oh wait, no. Oh wait, you
I
didn't
don't
watch
even
season
know
one.
what show it's from.
Oh, it's from Survivor season 1.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen Survivor. You guys know I'm a noob at Survivor.
Yeah, it was a nuts strategy in the first season of Survivor, to be honest. But I
But
mean,
well, that was because didn't know what strategy was, and they were making it up as they went along.
I guess he did it throughout the whole season, so it's not like he didn't know other strategies were going on. So it was.
What was it? Was it like this, like just for the vote?
Yeah, he would go alphabetically, be like, okay, who has the closest name to, like, I don't know if there was an A. Okay, I'm voting someone with A first, and then there's no B's, we go to C's, like, and then he just voted.
I hope my name is like Zed or something.
Yeah, you're not gonna get voted for a while. Like that's literally was his strategy. It was nuts. They also voted Jeff off the first time. Like the first episode of Survivor, they voted Jeff off first,
Yes.
and then he got really angry. And then I'm
And he
like,
was probably like, "Do you like me?"
no, he wasn't that open. I think he was more serious about the show back then. So that was fun. Any other things you want to talk about the show, guys?
Don't watch it.
Yeah, not about this show. I think we have some other things to move on to.
I'd like to bring it up. You guys seen that they're doing something different with the Mole season 2?
Yeah.
What do you guys think about it?
What's happening again? I think I saw the tweet, but I don't recall.
It's just that like the casting is gonna probably pivot towards like more influencers and more similar to like the other Netflix shows.
No, thank you. That's such a stupid idea.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I'm gonna say it. I knew someone that was like in casting for that, and they're nothing like close to like the influencer type at all. So like seeing that like surprised me.
No, you're trying to get your friend doxxed and kicked out of the casting process.
Well,
Or the casting process is obviously over because I think like they're filming it now or they're about to film it. So
I think saying friend is very like liberal. Be like, oh, that could be anybody. Like, I don't like it could be someone he just knew online. So
Did I say friend?
Do you have a lot of friends?
Oh, here we go. Not this again.
I missed the question.
I was just talking to somebody about this. Like, I'm not gonna go there.
What have you guys been watching anything? Or is there any other reality news you guys like to talk about?
Oh, there is something that I've been watching. So,
me too.
Netflix. Oh, Lone, go first.
What?
You can go first.
Oh, so I just finished a couple of shows that I've been watching. Like, the show I was mentioning before, Rise and Fall. I finished that. I don't think
I'm sorry.
I saw that, but yeah, it was fine. Like the ratings were not that good. I don't think it's coming back. I think they said it's probably not. Like even the production at Channel 4.
That's not happening again.
Yeah, the Channel 4 even said like, "Oh, we made some mistakes on how this was filmed. It was rushed." You know, that kind of thing. I also finished. Yeah, so not much about that. I like the winner, so I guess there's that. I had the same name as the winner, so that's cool, I guess.
Spoilers.
Yeah, if you know my name, but
okay.
Don't watch the show. It's not good.
It took me a while to get through it, and that's not saying anything bad on the show. It's just the way timing worked out. Like I wanted to watch it, I just didn't.
No, you're allowed to admit the show wasn't good. The concept was okay, but the execution was horrific.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind like doing an episode of the podcast on that one, but I also finished the show that we watched last week, My Big Fat Obnoxious.
Yes.
And I was kind of spoiled on like, you know, who the boss was, but that didn't even like take away from it. Like it was still like the finale was actually really interesting. A lot of these shows you don't have an interesting finale. It's kind of like either like telegraphed or a foregone conclusion or just like not very entertaining. But I don't know if you guys want me to spoil that either. But
No, keep your mouth shut on that one.
Yeah,
yeah,
I haven't finished the show yet.
but yeah, I enjoyed it. It was
Would you watch
fun
any
and
other of those hoax shows? Like my big fat obnoxious fiance,
the
or like
fiance one doesn't like appeal to much as me because I feel like it's I don't know, it's fiance, it's dating, so you know how I am with dating shows. But
would you
but
watch?
any other hoax show, yeah, like I'd be open to.
Okay, so like okay, that opens up an avenue for you to watch other shows like that. Anything else you watched, or just those two shows?
Um, in terms of like game shows, yeah, I watched like these documentaries about American Gladiators, which that's one of my favorite shows ever. So there was like an ESPN documentary and then like a Netflix one, so those were pretty interesting to me.
What was the format of the? What was the format of American Gladiators again? Sorry, if you mind.
It's basically just like these they have like the contenders, which is like the average like everyday person that you know that people try out for the show. It's a sports show. They try out and they're basically playing like these games in an arena. It's kind of like you know like it's called Gladiators. It's supposed to be based off like the Roman you know like gladiators in the arena, and
Yeah.
they're going against the gladiators who are like these you know basically bodybuilder type like athletes, like actual athletes. So it's kind of like similar. I think a good comparison would be like pros versus Joes.
Yeah, okay, that's interesting. Because I've heard of the show. I don't know how old it is, but I
Yeah,
have
it's
heard
from
of
the
it.
'80s, and it was like really big. They had like
Never watched Gladiators.
yeah, Mehdi, have you never watched Gladiators?
The movie?
The show.
The
No,
show
I
we're
haven't.
talking about.
No, I haven't. No, I have. I've never watched the show.
Yeah, it's from the '80s, and they had like a reboot in 2008 that didn't do as well. But it was international. Like there were like 10 or 20 countries that had their own version. It was a really
The,
big show.
the show was huge here. This was a big show. I
Yeah,
would
and
say
it's
like
coming.
probably like top 10 like biggest game shows of all time, and it's
Oh,
getting a revival for later
Yeah,
this year.
oh, that is okay. Then I'm gonna. I think I'll watch the revival and see if I like it so much. And Josh, what have you been watching this
So
week?
I've been watching a Spanish Netflix reality show. Now in Spanish, it's called Falso Amor. I don't want to spoil what the English speaking
Oh,
version
I know.
translation was. So,
You
Mehdi, have
tweeted
you heard
about
about
it,
the show?
right?
I have not.
So we've got 5 couples. They're split into 2 separate houses. And so as in like each couple is divided in half. So let's say that you and Eddie were a couple. Let's say you'd be in one house, Eddie would be in the other. One house
Okay.
is Venus, one house is Mars, and the 5 halves, so the 5 people are joined by 10 singles. Throughout the show, they are showing footage from the other house, intimate footage from the other house. Maybe there's some kissing going on, some other stuff going on. Now they have to guess whether that footage is real or fake, because some of the footage that they're shown is actually deep fake footage of their spouse.
Is this a 2023 show or is it like?
Yeah,
This is 2023. This is on
it's
Netflix
new.
right
It's
now.
fresh. It just came out.
Yeah, because like like the deep fakes have gone real. Wow, this is interesting.
Yes, it's called Deep Fake Love. And so the best thing about it, well, not the best thing, it's one of the messiest things production do. So they don't tell them about this deep fake aspect straight away. They bring them into the white room. They show them all this footage of their spouse doing all this crazy stuff. And then once they've all watched all that footage, they then tell them after, oh, by the way, some of that may have been fake. So the first time they're watching all the footage, they're watching their spouses like kissing up all on other people. They think it's all real the first time round. So we see some of these people saying, our relationship is over. I don't want to see this person ever again. And then they learn, oh, it may have been fake. Like these producers are messy.
See, when I first like saw you talking about it, I thought it was like they were deep faking people. Like you would see somebody in the other house and you didn't know if they were a real person or not. But like that's even worse.
You know, it's a deep fake of your own spouse. And look, some of these couples think they know each other perfectly. But in the first round of voting, not a single couple got every single one correct. Every couple got at least one of them wrong.
I
So
got a
what's
question
like
for
the
you guys.
elimination aspect?
What's that?
Like, how do you like? What's the game mechanic of like
So,
winning or
so,
elimination?
so nobody goes home, but at the end of the show, the couple that has had the fewest incorrect guesses wins 100,000 euros.
Question: If I don't know you guys' relationship statuses, but would you go on the show with a partner?
This show or any show?
This show.
That's a good question,
If
actually.
we had a partner,
Sorry,
you're saying like if we had a partner, would we go on?
I don't know your relationship statuses, so I'm not going to assume, right? So exactly.
I would not, but it's more that is that I don't want to be seen on television doing the things that they're doing, not the unwillingness to participate in this kind of process.
Ooh, I think that's a good answer because I feel like I would want to go on a show like this, but I like keeping my private life private. But I feel like this is a fun little way to like, in a way, test your relationship and see like it's like a trust thing. So I feel like this is a fun little.
Some of
No.
these people talk about testing their relationships, but for them, testing their relationship involves kissing other people.
Whoa.
It sounds like a Black Mirror episode.
It's a mess.
What's that? There's an American show like this. What's it called? It's like Temptation. It's like a little bit like Temptation Island, but with deepfakes.
Yes.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
I'm in. This show is this on Netflix?
Yes. It's called Deep Fake Love.
Is it
Yeah.
is it complete or is it like a weekly?
I think I think the last episode is not out, but all of the episodes before it are out.
Okay, so I'm gonna wait a week and then I'm gonna check the show out. This looks fun.
Yeah, I'm
It's
interested
a
in seeing
mess.
it, but I don't think I would go on.
Why alone? You don't want to be seen on TV doing stuff, or deep fakes of you doing stuff?
No, I
That's
just it's it's a dating show, so
Mehdi, do you think your spouse would participate with you?
Oh, she would not. She would. she she won't participate now. So I'm she definitely not.
Propose the idea, and next week feedback to us how that went.
I'll give you guys feedback on that. I'm gonna get them to watch this show to just see how it is because we do like watching these types of shows from time to time, and this show it's really piqued my interest in that way. Anything else or any other news you want to talk about, guys?
I think that covers pretty much everything.
yeah, I agree.
Like there's nothing in season at the moment. Oh my goodness, though. Actually, you know what? We did not get a chance to talk about it last week, so we have to talk about it now. Are the two of you claimed fame people?
I saw the exit. I didn't watch the episode. I saw the exit. Lone, did you see the exit?
I didn't watch it because I wanted to just watch the episode, but I don't know. Like I meant to watch season 1, and I'm thinking like, oh, maybe I'll just hop on for season 2. But yeah, I heard about the exit, and I know who the celebrity is.
When I tell you claim to fame, like that exit, it's brilliant. But this show as a whole, this is claim to fame is genuinely one of the best. I can't think of the lot. This is the best reality show since I can't think of the last reality show that was at this level. I in my mind, there are 2 perfect seasons of reality television where there's not a single moment of the show you want to skip. And it is the first season of Flavor of Love Charm School and the first season of Claim to Fame. Those are the 2 most perfect seasons of reality television to ever exist.
This show does not have any right to be as good as it is.
It doesn't.
It's like you look at the premise and like, okay, this is gonna be lame. And like, no, this show is great.
Another ABC show, cousins with the guy's house.
This is great. That exit was iconic. I want. Hopefully, the rest of the season goes as well as the first episode, or at least what I saw the exit was.
The second episode was good as well. The whole first season was really solid. This show is the perfect blend between like getting something really strategic, but also something quite fun. It has the Masked Singer upside where you want to guess along. It's so good. It's one of the most perfect shows to ever exist. I think it's a show that has wide popularity potential. I think it's a show that no matter what you're watching reality television for, whether it's the drama, whether it's the strategy, whether it's the fun stuff, I think there's a little bit of everything. And the problem with the Masked Singer is they can't really get like properly famous people to do it. Whereas this show, so you can definitely get the spouse, you can get the family members of famous people. So no guess feels unrealistic. Like you can guess any people, no matter how famous they are, and it's plausible.
Well, that's what's surprising. Like some of the, even in season 1, like some of the people that ended up being their relatives, like it was very surprising. Like I didn't think they were going to be able to get like people that like related that were like that highly acclaimed or whatever. But like after season 1 and kind of the first episode of season 2, I'm like, okay, like this variety in guessing, like you could guess any celebrity. So it's very fun.
All of the celebrities are too famous to go on a show like this themselves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what's crazy about it. Great show. We
How
might
did
talk
they
about
cast that show? Does anybody know?
Well, how do they cast it, do you say?
Yeah.
So the first season, it was a lot of them contacting people via social media. Whereas this time, there's probably elements of that, but also at the end of the season, they were able to post an ad. I remember watching the finale episode, and they said, if you're interested in participating in the show, you can contact us.
Okay.
We're definitely going to talk. I think if more stuff comes out of Claim to Fame, I'd love to do a little watch Claim to Fame and talk about it.
What we could also do is maybe when we get to the finale of the season, maybe having a chat about it, then talking about how the whole season was.
Oh yeah, I would be up for that. We just all got to catch up.
It's worth it. It's worth it.
And you don't have to obviously you probably don't have to have any, knowledge of season 1 to just hop on season 2.
Yeah, no, you can easily jump in. So far, I don't even think they've mentioned season 1. They've referred to it briefly, but it's not a necessary watch. It's a whole new cast of people. If you get a chance to watch season 1, please do. It's amazing television, but this season is also super, super solid.
It's a really easy format to understand. It's fun. It's engaging. It's a great show. But for next week, we're heading back to South Korea, and we're going to check out the game show called, it's not, I'd say reality show, kind of reality show / game show called Society Game. It's the creators are the same creators that made The Genius. So we'll be talking about that. Probably going to be only talking about one episode for that because the episodes are a bit lengthy. But that's what we have set up for next week or whenever we have a podcast. It's the summer. It's going to be a regular. I'm like maybe once we have a bit more structure, but we're on vacation from time to time. So, Lone, how do people follow you on social media?
You can follow me on Twitter and Lone Ranger 158. You can follow the podcast on Instagram at Physical Challenge Pod. And I was talking to Josh earlier. I don't know if I'm going to make a threads for this, but since it's on Instagram, it's easy to link them, so I probably will. I don't know if maybe you've been getting into the thread stuff lately.
I just got into threads. I was going to say, are we going to start plugging threads? Is that a thing? It's but you can follow me on Twitter at Aljabiri23. Josh, your socials?
You can follow me on Twitter or Instagram at JoshyFLX. That's JOSHIEFLX. I had to think about that for a moment. I'm tired. Goodness.
Josh, are you on threads?
I'm absolutely not on threads.
Any reason?
Why would I be?
Why not?
I'm not leaving Twitter until they take it from my dead soul.
If I'm leaving Twitter, I'd move to something better than Twitter, not Instagram threads.
Mastodon?
Oh my god.
People talk to me about this all the time. Like, no, I don't know what it is.
I don't know what it is either. People just say they're moving to it, and I just say, "Oh, I'm on Mastodon," and I'm like, I don't know what it is.
You can also, if you want to see my trash TV takes, you can follow Channel Chaser 01. That's where I talk about TV. I try to keep it to that so I don't annoy my mutuals on the main.
We're promoting alt Twitters. I like that, Lone. Yeah, that's gonna be the rest. The rest. That makes sense. Sorry. That's gonna be it for all of us today. We'll see you guys next week or whenever we see you. Bye.